Let the rock remind you of something. You ain't nothing. You're 100 pounds of nothing. 5 feet nothing.
This is Atlas.
Swazdolan, you frog legs, how the hell are ya? Well then, today I will try to show you punks how to play this blockhead easily and put Trinos in their rightful place, which is the bottom of the ocean. Anyway, all in all, Atlas is a pretty cool frame. He is tanky, can deal decent damage and provide pretty good crowd control too. The only thing kinda bad about this dude is the acquisition. If you wish to farm for Atlas, you will need to defeat the senile boss known as Jizo, which is an archwing battle. Now, before you cry and throw a fit, allow me to say that I will upload the guide on how to kill this douchebag quickly, and in all honesty, the grind is not that bad. But don't at me. Anyhow, One Punch Boy has 2 passive abilities. 1. He is impervious to knockdowns as long as he is touching the ground. If you are in the air you will get knocked down like a plastic bottle in Chicago wind. 2. He can gain bonus health and armor from petrified weasels. The mechanics behind this are kind of intricate, but worry not, I got your back. So here is how it works. Every time you kill a petrified dummy, they will drop so-called rubble. You can pick up this rubble and each one will grant you 50 health. If your health happens to be maxed out, you will gain 50 bonus armor instead. This will stack up to 1,500 extra armor that will slowly deplete over time. Now if you decide to be Devo from next Friday and Nakamofo out with the One Punch Boy ability, petrified enemies will drop 75 health instead of only 50. Same goes for bonus armor. So you should always try to punch fools in the face. That's pretty much all you need to know. So let's beat our way to Rocky Boy's first ability. One Punch Man Simulator.
Soka.
Okay, now this ability has quite a bit going for it, but I will not bother you with unnecessary details because ultimately, those do not matter. Upon cast, Atlas will target enemies up to 15 meters away and punch them in the face like Mike Tyson.
I'll fuck you till you love me.
This attack will deal mainly impact damage, which means it will do well against Corpus Scum. As I said, I will not bother you with annoying min-maxing details here, but know this, on paper this ability does not seem all that powerful, but in practice, Atlas will deal some serious damage here. More on that in a second. After each successful punch, Atlas will have a 1-second window in which you can recast the ability to perform a combo. You can repeat that within the window up to 3 times. The combo is always right, left, uppercut. Every successive punch within this 3-hit combo will double damage and reduce energy cost for the punch by half. Furthermore, the area of effect damage will double each time as well. On top of that, the uppercut will launch fools into the air like that one fight scene in the movie Kung Fu Hustle. So overall there is some very decent crowd control going on here. In terms of damage, what you need to know is that One Punch Boy ability will take almost all of your equipped melee mods into account. Except acolyte mobs and most weapon augments from syndicates. Hell, even covert lethality will give you that extra damage buff. However, not the finish or instant kill. Naturally. Also, all status effect mods will carry over into the punches. Which means you can proc anything you want and need for any enemy level. And like I said, even if that doesn't kill them, at the very least you will have cheap insane crowd control. One more thing, just like that soggy sissy Excalibur, Atlas is immune to all damage while punching. So punching like a drunk Russian when things gets hairy will actually enable full tank mode. You're welcome. Moving on. The not-so-great Wall of China. Stony Boy wrecks a wall of stone in front of him. This silly wall of stone works pretty much exactly like Rhino's peasant iron skin with the 4-second phase of invulnerability during which the stone barrier will absorb all incoming damage to extrapolate a higher health pool. Furthermore, your modified health and armor, and even strength mods will also be taken into account. Similar to Frost and his Toys R Us snow globe. This stone barrier will prevent dumbass enemies from passing through it, and some of them will even attack the wall instead of you. Which gives you a little tiny bit of crowd control. However, you and your teammates can pass through the wall however you please. Pretty sure that ain't how physics works, but what do I know? Now if you get tired of enemies knocking at your door, you can recast the ability and the stone wall will transform into a boulder and roll out into the direction of your aim. This Indiana Jones boulder will knock down and or pick up enemies while it's on the move and explode upon impact with the surface. It will also explode automatically if it reaches its maximum travel distance, which is always 15 meters. Now I could sit here and tell you guys how the damage mechanics here work, but I am not going to waste your time with useless garbage. The best thing you can get out of this is some crowd control and a few giggles. However, there is some hope for the scrap thanks to some neat synergy. You see, it's like this: if you cast your third ability on the stone wall at some point, the wall will become petrified and gain 200% trolling speed, double travel distance and a bonus in damage as well. So if you wish to use this for damage, then you will need to mob for it heavily and always petrify the damn wall before you launch it into Grenier faces. Here is a bonus tip on the house. Since you can pass through your own wall, you can actually cast it while on the run, pass through it and keep on going to instantly stop damage from behind. Also, after recasting and forming a boulder, you can instantly form a new wall without affecting the previously deployed boulder. So you can essentially stay behind cover at all times while launching rocks at your foes. You're welcome. Next up, Medusa Flash. This ability is pretty straightforward at first glance. But it also offers a lot of synergy, which I will get to in a second. Upon cast, you will almost instantly petrify everything in front of you that is within range. Stoned enemies will take double damage from all sources, which includes warframe abilities. This sounds pretty awesome, but before you become aroused with potential ideas, let me tell you this. Petrify will pause any and all status effects that currently affect them. Which means that if enemies are bleeding from, let's say, Gerudo's 4th or Saren's toxins, then those statuses will be suspended until the petrification wears off. Which is pretty shitty in my opinion and can cause your allies to get upset. At least that's how it is supposed to work on paper. My testing has concluded that this is not at all the case. So what actually happens here is that all status effects previously inflicted on the enemy will in fact carry on normally when petrified. However, petrified enemies cannot be inflicted with new status effects. As you can clearly see here. Now I do not know if this is a silly bug, but for now it is pretty savage. So stop your complaining, for now. Still though, all physical damage will still be amplified, so no need to cry too much about it. Since this ability essentially freezes large groups of ugly enemies, it is a pretty damn solid means of crowd control. With just a little range to help it out, you will be all set. Now then, time for the synergies. As previously mentioned, you can cast this on your stiff stone wall to give it extra benefits. Also, since this ability requires line of sight, your stone walls should obstruct your view, but nope, think again. If you cast Medusa Gaze shortly after casting a wall, you will somehow still petrify the fools behind it. In addition, you can also cast it on your rumblers and instantly heal them back to max health, essentially keeping them alive forever. All things considered, there is really no reason why you should not abuse the shit out of this ability. Moving on. Dwayne Johnson bodyguard clones. Atlas summons 2 rock bodyguards with the power of a WWE jutsu. every enemy that is within 6 meters of you will instantly be turned to stone. Which is great against melee douchebags or infested who try to violate your personal space. Now I will dumb this down because there is no need to state all of the mechanics and damage numbers here. All your little hooligan ass needs to know is that these Rocky Johnsons will deal mainly pretty decent impact damage with their attacks. Their health and armor is affected by your own health, shield, armor and strength mods. So if you want to max out their potential you will want to build your Atlas accordingly. Personally I find that a silly ambition, but hey, you do whatever the hell floats your boat. Another thing you will want to keep an eye on is the duration left on your active rumbler buddies. You see, if you let them die on their own then nothing happens. However, if you recast the ability as it nears its end, they will detonate and deal explosive damage to enemies within a 6-meter range around them. Considering the two damage types, impact and blast, these guys and Atlas in general are especially effective against corpus and infested units. The bodyguards are also immune to status effects and will only drain health if they come in contact with nullifiers. Last thing to know is that rumblers will drop rubble upon death. If they are at max health at that point, perhaps because you healed them, they will drop the maximum rubble effect and grant your 50 health or armor bonus. So it is very much in your interest to keep these punks at good health, but you do not need to focus on them. Alrighty, with all that said, here is my build. Now as always, keep in mind, this is my build that works great for me. You can use it as a guideline and see how you like it and then screw it up however you please. And since Atlas is very likely to be the next Prime Warframe release, I do not see any reason to waste my precious forma on this regular newbie version. Furthermore, Atlas can be built in a number of ways and still be effective. So it is almost an accomplishment to get him wrong. I do have one more alternative build that is outrageous and unheard of, much like my Garuda build. I will share that with you guys if you want to. Anyway, all in all, Atlas is a good warframe. Period. I do not care what your favorite YouTuber may have told you. He can be built and played almost any way you want to. He has very satisfying abilities that sound great and are fun to watch. He is fairly tanky, has very good crowd control, clean synergies and is somewhat demanding to master, which makes him more fun in my opinion. If there are any major changes with his Prime version, I will let you weasels know and update this video. Now do not forget to like and subscribe to this shitty but partnered channel. And fuck off.